We're good. Hey guys, as you can see, it's now Monday. We are back in West Tennessee, back at the shop, and having a good time. And apparently, you know, I told you guys, Goals was a big place. It was a lot going on, and we were between representing our rifles there, out of the Wooks booth.
Yep.
And talking to people about our guns, my walking around time was limited.
Right.
But most of you guys know one of my very best friends in the world, Paul Craddock. He'd been telling me about this handguard
Lights out rail.
that him and somebody he had become acquaintances with or friends with, we're doing some stuff, and apparently these guys were at Goals.
Yep.
And in the hustle and bustle of the days, I'm sure there's a lot of people both of us missed.
Oh, it was busy. It was real busy. We couldn't even get away from the booth.
So Paul calls me this morning and says, "Hey man, you gonna be around the shop?" "Yeah." He said, "I'm bringing visitors." So Al and your dad is
Lance.
Yep. How did I miss that one? We got Al and Lance with American Animal Arms.
Yep.
And they've got what they call the lights out rail. I'm not gonna try to talk about it. He can do you a whole lot better job than I am.
All right.
But so this is Al, and we have, I think, made the deal. We're carrying the product now.
You are, yeah.
I think.
Yeah, you're our first dealer in Tennessee, actually. Yeah.
I think the Lances.
Yeah,
I think we had the
excited.
2 Lances and the Al get together.
Yep.
And now we're
Yeah.
carrying the product. So I think you guys are going to be impressed. You're going to like it, especially some of our law enforcement people.
Oh, absolutely. Law enforcement,
And
tactical.
some of you guys, that are wagging these things in and out of patrol cars, and
Yeah. Kicking indoors, things like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, absolutely.
you're going to love it. So Al, take it away.
All right. Well, this is our lights out rail. This is the 9.3 inch. Basically what we did is different from everybody else on the market. You can see at our 2, 4, 7, and 10 o'clock position, you got a reverse dovetail channel. So that reverse dovetail channel, so if you're using weapons mounted lights or lasers, there's no more zip ties, no more tape, no more ranger bands. You slide that out, and all your wires are gonna ride inside that channel system nice and clean. I can actually show you what it looks like. So basically, if you're gonna mount that up, you can see that wire coming off your pressure switch. It's gonna go up and around. This is our wire take-up screw. So if you're running a 7, a 9, or an 11-inch lead wire, you can move that to any one of those holes, take that slack out, make it nice and clean. So no more zip ties, no more tape, no more ranger bands, nice and clean. But the rail is a lot more than that. Let me show you the other things it does. So in addition to the wire management, you also have M-lock that you're running at a 45. So if you want to run a pressure switch or backup iron sights at a 45, you can. There's also little wire holes in that as well. So if you want to do a little cable management underneath that, you can. If you want to run ARCA, this is our prototype right now, but we're developing an ARCA. It's going to be aluminum on the outside. The inside is going to have a steel plate. Reason that that's better than the M-lock attachment, on an M-lock, you only have 2 points of contact. So with the 2 points of contact, you're still going to get a little, they can lock up solid, but for the most part, it's going to get a little bit of wobble to it. Ours, you got 4.5 inches of contact on both sides of that rail system. You can also micro adjust all the way down throughout that and lock it down. So it just gives you a super solid lockup, especially when you're really starting to drive in on a bipod. You're not going to get that laser shift that you might get with some of the rails flexing and things like that. Our lockup mechanism is also patent pending right now. So we got sick of chasing stuff coming out the bottom. So we put everything on a cam pin. So it drops to a 45, slides out the back. So you can see that cam pin right there. No more losing nuts and bolts across the kitchen floor at the range, things like that. Everything's going to ride on that. You can back those all the way out and clean that if you'd like to, but you don't have to. Our barrel nut's a non-timing barrel nut. It's got flats on it, so there's no special spanner tool needed. As you're sliding that in, you're going to see you slide it in, and it's going to drop down into place. As soon as it drops into place, you just tighten those down, and away you go. All of our hardware is stainless steel, so you got 416 on the bolts. You're going to have 17.4 on our QD quick detach devices. So it's basically, if you're running this, it's a quarter turn QD, so your sling's not going to get all bunched up on you. As far as at the back, you got anti-rotation tabs top and bottom within 2 thousandths of a mil spec upper. So it's going to give you a super solid lockup. Overall, the rail is 6061 T6 aluminum, and it's mil spec anodized type 3 hard coat. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we've tried to put together a pretty solid model here. We spent about a little over 2 years of research and development, taking feedback from anyone that would talk to us. Got a shot booth, and basically went out there with nothing more than just to ask for feedback from anyone that would.
Right.
So we had a lot of feedback from special operations, different SWAT teams, some of the best civilian shooters, and we took what they said, came back, and created exactly what they asked for. And we've definitely put this thing through the paces, and it's starting to catch on pretty good.
I'm gonna tell you what excites me is the ARCA adapter.
Yeah. That's been a big one. So we're pretty excited about that. Yeah, we'll have those out about the end of the month here. So,
I'm one of those guys that tends to get really heavy.
Yeah.
On the bipod.
Yeah. You start pushing in. I mean, you can see the thing. I mean, if you're like most rail systems, if you're putting 20 pounds of pressure on that bipod and pushing through, you can, if you mark it, mark the laser, and then put that 20 pounds of pressure, and then you mark that laser again, you can watch it walk on you pretty quick. So definitely adding that extra steel in there, and then having these spines from these covers adds a lot more rigidity. So you can push a lot harder into that before you're going to see any of that walking on you. So I'm not saying it can't happen, but it's a lot less likely to.
We it's like a lot of things. We play the odds, so we cut the odds of it happening.
Absolutely.
And that's there's ton of good features.
Yeah.
I like the way you're doing the pins, doing the screws here.
Yeah.
That's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, so we took that very seriously. So we learned from some of the things that were going on in the industry. We put a relief cut in the bottom here. The reason we did the relief cut, if you got a solid piece of aluminum all the way around and you start tightening things down, well, that pressure's got to go somewhere. So when you really start looking at what's going to happen with the pressure, it's going to take the point of least resistance. So typically that point of least resistance is going to be that QD. And so, there's some rails right now that are having some issues with cracking down the sides, things like that. We were trying to alleviate that right from the beginning by running that relief cut in the bottom.
So, lots and lots of forethought.
Yeah.
And lots of afterthought.
Yeah, absolutely. I was chomping at the bit to release this thing, but I didn't want to until we knew that it was, completely solid. I mean, it was, like I said, it was 2 years of really making sure that we did our homework on it. So, kind of the way we look at it is, you take this thing and you find a way, you think something should be better, you let us know and we'll make sure it is. But right now we feel we've done a pretty nice job creating a solid product.
I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, we've discussed some things, but
yeah,
and we discussed where that's a difference in certain markets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
yeah,
you want me to mention that?
No,
okay.
I mean, for some of you guys, the big question you're gonna ask, these are gonna come in, so I'm gonna address it.
Yep.
No, your suppressor won't fit inside.
No, it's not. We designed that on purpose. The reason we did that, everything we made on this thing was basically made to be quick serviceable in the field. We built these things to be on service rifles. We want something that if you're taking this thing out in the field or if you're using this at home for your self-defense or in a shit hits the fan situation, we want to make sure that rifle is always going to work for you. So, our hardware, it's a T15 and or a 4mm Allen. It's both things that guys carry in their kit. And one of the reasons we didn't make it so you could flush mount or undermount a suppressor was that, you're running down the street and all of a sudden, you're in a bad situation and you take, go nose into the ground and now you're full of mud on the front of your suppressor. You take that suppressor off and you start pulling the trigger. Well, guess what? We got, you got an issue because this whole thing's blowing apart on you. So as far as that wise goes, we didn't want to have that happen. So our guns, we wanted to make sure that everything was out the front. And so we did tighten that up a little bit, and just to make sure that we kept those suppressors out front because we wanted this to be
And again, I think it's solid thinking.
Yeah.
And where's I want to go ahead and approach it? It's going to be the number one question.
Yeah. Oh, I absolutely.
Next, well, there's two. The other one's going to be how much. You know, we ain't gonna talk about that right now.
Yeah.
But that's gonna be the number one question, and I feel like, you know, after we spoke about it,
Yep.
you had a good answer.
Yeah.
You had a good answer based on reason, logic, and fact.
Right. Right.
So,
Oh, I mean, I have. Don't get me wrong. I have suppressors that are undermounted on at home.
I mean, I get it.
I think they're cool. I definitely do. But they're not leaving my house in a situation where
Right.
I'm gonna depend on that rifle for anything other than being cool.
and that's the point. You know,
Right.
I thought you made the point when we talked very well,
Thank you. Appreciate that.
and I thought you would make the point to these people
Yeah.
better than I will.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah.
You know, because that's coming from you. Somebody that's thought about it, that's looked at it, that's
Yeah. I mean, like I said, everything we did on this was kind of point and purpose. So.
so. You know, I figure out that's going to be the question. Let's just head it off,
Yeah. Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
you know, they don't have to take my word for it.
Right, right, yeah. No, for our whole thing, like I said, it was point and purpose. Like when we designed it, you know, a lot of guys when they're designing stuff, and you know, you have to buy add-on pieces in order to make things fit and stuff like that. We actually designed ours right out of the gate for the accessory market. So we wanted to make sure guys could set it up how they wanted it. They weren't having to zip tie, not dealing with you know, sharp broken zip ties, things like that, dry rotting, all that. More like tape, you know, you tape it up and everything, and yeah, and it looks cool, but then it gets moldy as soon as you get wet, things like that. So we wanted to alleviate all that problem by making it right in there.
No, and now here's the other thing. Yeah, I mean, if we want to talk about cosmetics, it looks bad,
Right.
but you know, if you've never reached around and grabbed around, you know, grabbed around a rail and grabbed the short piece of wire tie
Yeah.
or
Yep.
a cable tie, you know, that's one of the few pleasures in life you should experience.
Right, yeah, exactly. I'm sure I got some scars on my hands, a few different spots from that. Yeah.
Yeah, reach around and go, damn, why am I bleeding?
Yeah, that was actually what prompted this whole experience. Was a zip tie that I didn't burn down enough, and went to the range next day and split me wide open. I'm like, man, there's got to be a better way.
But the other thing is, you still have wires on the outside.
Right. Yep.
They're still going to eventually, maybe not right this second, but there's going to be slack.
Yeah.
There's still, that's one more thing that can hang. That's one more thing that can catch up. It's
Right.
one more failure point.
Right. Exactly. It's
Or two more, depending on how many cables you got.
Right, yeah, you can have a lot of failure points, and I mean, if you got things catching in here, it's like anything, especially for law enforcement and things like that. You know, you got this in the patrol car, and you got to reach in and grab it, and you got wires all hanging out. Well, now that thing gets snagged up, right? And if even it doesn't get snagged up, now you go in and you're running after somebody through the woods, thicket, something like that, and all of a sudden that catches that wire. Well, now your light goes out, and guess what? Your mission success rate just went probably in the garbage. So, yeah, it's you know, it can definitely be something that can really help you out.
So, you know, to me, it addresses an issue that's kind of been an elephant in the room.
Yeah,
You know, it's like everybody knew it's a weak point.
right,
Everybody knew it was a problem.
right, yeah.
But you're the first guy I seen that took steps to alleviate the problem.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, it was
And
things that were bothering me as a shooter.
so, you know, I think I hope you've launched a successful business. We're glad to be on board with you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate
And,
that.
you know, I thank you. Not only do I hope I hope people recognize the service that you're bringing to the industry.
Thank you. Thank you.
So,
Yeah.
look forward to a long time doing this.
Appreciate it. Yeah, come on down and see these.
Guys, as always, God bless America. God bless you.